Hello again, this is Dragonesque4 coming at you with yet another how to make tutorial. Today I'm going to cover how to make a starter set of poi balls. Now, poi balls, in case you're not familiar with it and you are curious and you might want to try this out, or for those that know what they are and would like to make their own set, they're basically a set of balls. They're hung on a cord, and they're used for not only exercise, but they're also artistic because they're really interesting to watch. And they're also fun to use too. It's kind of like a combination of all three. And here's what they look like. Okay, you'll need to make two of these. And here's the balls right there. Go to close up of the balls. And here's the cord. And here's the knots that you use for your fingers. Now, the reason I call this a starter set is because these are real soft. So if you get hit by them while you're practicing or learning different patterns or whatever, it's not going to hurt you because these are really, really soft. So this is how to make a starter set. Okay, what you're going to need. You're going to need. There's a couple different ways you could do the starter set, and then if you wanted to, you can make more advanced versions. You know, they're a little harder, or you could make ones that are like bigger, or have ones that are on fire or whatever. You know, but that I'm not covering right now. I'm just covering the basic starter set. What you're going to need to go and get like a foam cat ball, or some fabric that you could just like bundle up and tie into a ball. You're going to need some paracord. In this case, I used 550 paracord, which is a thicker paracord, but you could use the thinner paracord, or you could use like cotton cord or some other kind of cord, maybe plastic cord if you want. I don't recommend using hemp cord because of this fact that hemp's not really sturdy that well as for rope wise, and it also scratches, you know, so may fray while you're using it, and it also may feel scratchy on your fingers, so I don't recommend hemp cord. You're going to need either a knife and a crochet hook, or a crochet hook by itself. What you'll have to do is you get these little foam cat balls from the pet store, or if you just want to bundle up a piece of fabric, like say you take a washcloth and put some fabric into it and make a little ball that way, you could do it that way too. But if you're using the foam balls, you're going to have to poke a hole through the ball all the way through. Now this could be done either with the crochet hook, and but you'll need a really fairly good thick crochet hook to get all the way through. A thin one will just bend, so you'll need a fairly thick one. You could do it that way, or if you want to use a knife, you just take a knife, and I recommend if you're going to use a knife, be really careful and put it onto a piece of cardboard, while you're poking through it, so when it hits to the bottom, it's not going to slip and nick out and may possibly cut you. So it would sink into the cardboard instead of on a hard surface. It might slip off. But you'll need to make a hole into the foam ball. Okay, next, in order to determine the length of the cord you need, you're going to have to hang the cord from waist high. So I recommend making the knots first. If you're going to make a butterfly knot, you can make it a butterfly knot like I did, and it would go over your thumb and then over your index finger. Now, the reason I use a butterfly knot like that is because it makes it a lot easier when you're trying to learn different patterns and whatever, so you can pull in on the cord, with your hand like that, and it'll go in the direction that you're pulling. Whereas a single knot, if you want to use a single knot, which would go over your finger, just your index finger, you could do it that way too, but it's a little harder to learn the maneuvers with a single knot. Then once you make your set of knots up there, you have your hand, put your hand next to your waist, like I've got right here. I don't have a camera person, so I'm trying to see the angle I've got here. I can't really see this, but you put your hand next to your waist. You have the cord hanging down, And you want the cord to go about 5 to 6 inches below your kneecap. You see where I got it there? And you have to allow like just a couple extra inches besides that in order to fit the ball on. Now, and like I said, you'll have to make 2 of these, okay? Because they're usually worked in pairs. Now, you take your cord, and then with your thick crochet hook, you go all the way through the ball with the crochet hook, and then you pull the cord through the ball. Now, at this point, you want to tie the cord off on the bottom and tie it off on the top. Okay? Now, from here, you could either choose to do like I did, where I usually decorate mine, and I use like a piece of fabric. And what you do is you want to cut a circle of fabric that's slightly taller than the ball's height. And there's 2 ways of doing this. If you want to do the basic way, you would just take the fabric. Once you cut it into a circle of fabric that's going to be slightly bigger than the ball, you would just tie it off with the cord, with a leftover piece of cord. It's just a little piece of cord, and you want the main line cord to be sticking out the top of that. So you just wrap it and the cord be sticking out, and you just tie the cord around it. Now, the second way is to cut a slight hole in the bottom of the fabric. So if you want to make what's known as a meteor, and a meteor is basically a poi ball with like a streamer unit on it. So that way you could, if you wanted to attach the ribbon or whatever to the bottom, you could do that and make yourself a meteor set. I didn't actually put one on this set as of yet. I might later, but I didn't put one on, but I left it open just in case I want to do that. So that's the difference. Or you could just leave it without the fabric and without the ribbon if you wanted to, and just make a straight one with just a straight ball. It's however you want to do it. Okay? And I'll show you once you make them. And then again, here's what the balls will look like, and you can use whatever color cord you want to use, and then the butterfly knots up on top, and I'll show you how to use them. Okay, you would take your cord and put it on top of your fingers like this. So so it's on top of the palm of the hand, okay? And you start swinging them, and then when you get enough momentum, you start making patterns. So this here, what I'm doing here is just a straight basic learner's circle, okay? So you just start doing that. And once you learn how to do that, then you can do crossovers where you're bringing it in together, so it's forming an X by, see, one will be going slightly faster speed than the other one when you do them, And then you could also do, say, front circles. You could do overhead patterns like this, like an overhead circle. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You could do reverses where you'll start it one way and then you'll suddenly stop it. Like, say, you'll go like this and then bring it going the other way. You could do different directions, like say you want to start one going, say, like this, and then you bring the other one. I'm in my bedroom here, so it's a little limited on space, but say I'm going like this, and then I'll bring it like that. And you could also do, say, over the front crosses like this, so you're going back and forth across your body like that. And again, with the starter kit, with the starter balls, they're really safe. They're, other than you could they are a choking hazard for animals or people or whatever, because they could choke. But if you use them responsibly, they're safe enough. And if you get hit by them, you see they're not going to hurt. And also with a good starter set like this, because they don't weigh much, if you do use them inside, they're small enough that you can actually use them somewhat in like a room, like I'm doing here, and if they did hit something, they're not going to really damage it unless it pulls it off something in like a breakable thing and pulls it off or something. So you can see I'm like hitting the dresser here and it's not hurting it. So if you do decide to make them and you upload a video, I would love to see you using them. So send me a link and I'll give it a watch. And I hope you like this video and enjoy. That's how you make a starter set of poi balls.